Today. Hope those of you who are back to work from vacation are feeling bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I know I'm not. I'm in, where am I? I'm in Wyoming near Sinclair. I'm going up to Casper in the morning to drop an excavator, and then I'm going to Colorado. Don't know what's going on after that. So right now, the bill has been signed into law, but there is an amendment that has been brought up to bring the dollar amount for the cash payments up to $2,000. And it just passed the House with a 2/3 majority, and it's going to the Senate. I believe as of right now, it hasn't passed yet. I've got mixed feelings about this because in one way I don't care at all. In another way, I realize that people could use the money. In another way, I realize that this will shut people up and they won't care. If I were in Congress, I would have voted against this. And the reason is because none of the pork was removed. If they had completely removed all the pork, all the foreign aid, all the corporate bailouts, then I would have voted for a $660 billion bill for cash bailouts to the people, sure. And it could have been even less than that, because that is if it goes to every single woman, man, and child. It wouldn't even need to. It would just be going to adults, so it could be even less than that. Sure, I would have voted for that. I don't really have the same judgment toward people who vote for this amendment to bring the price of the payments up, because they're not approving of what's going on in the rest of the bill, but I still think I would have voted no. And it's because I don't want people to just take their eye off the ball and think everything's fine, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to get all excited about this $2,000 in cash, and they're not going to care anymore about all the money that they sent to those other countries who have nothing to do with our problem with the coronavirus and shouldn't be getting our money any year, but especially this year. And if you divide the amount that this bill was by the number of taxpayers who are paying into it, I forget what the number is, but it's way higher than 600 or 2,000. It's way higher. So if everyone's going to be thrilled about the fact that they paid all this money in this year and they have all this tax money, and then what they get back is this shitty, tiny percentage return, then the American people are defeated and we're dumb. And I feel like we're already there. The good thing I did see today is a lot of Trump supporters who were really angry that Trump signed the bill last night. And that made me a little hopeful, because they got really angry about that bill during the process of it being passed through Congress and then seeing it sit in a stalemate. And they were all hoping that Trump was going to pocket veto it or not sign it. And they were really rooting for him because he made it look like he was going to veto it. And then when he didn't, it pissed them off big time. And I capitalized on that, and I tried to tell them, look, guys, this isn't anything new. He's been doing this to you the last 4 years. And he's no different than Obama or Bush. They've all done it. So I'm hoping that this wakes people up, and I'm hoping that if we get a $2,000 stimulus payment, that it doesn't put everyone back to sleep. And I'm afraid that's what will happen. It's hush money. That's what my title of my video says. That's how I feel about it. We'll bring this payment amount up because we have such a low approval rating right now. Everybody hates us. If we can bring it up to 2,000 without removing any of the crap that we're giving to all these special interests abroad and at home, they'll look at us more fondly. Now, that's not the way it should be. It should have been a complete repeal of the old bill and only direct cash payments to everybody. But Congress is fucked. Congress does not function. Our government does not function. I think we need to completely tear it down and start over. And I want to do that I'm still optimistic that we can vote our way out of this, but I'm not sure that's true anymore. And I'm going to do everything I can to try to get people to vote our way out of this at the next midterm and the next presidential election. And like I said in my last video, if the American people obviously don't want to do that, then I'm done investing my time and energy into trying to get people to do that. And I am going to go back to encouraging people to live sustainably without relying on the government, without relying on the dollar, because that's what it's going to come down to. So if this passes the Senate and Trump signs it into law, which obviously he will if it passes, don't let your guard down, even if you get $2,000. Remember, since June when I got this job, I've paid in $10,000, and to see what they're doing with still what is the lion's share of that bill should piss you off a lot, because it does me. It makes me extremely angry. If I still had that money just from my federal income taxes, there's a ton of stuff I could do with it. There's a ton of people I could have helped. It pisses me off to no end. So don't let this $2,000, if you get it, shut you up and get you to stop talking about all these problems. Keep the awareness out there. Keep telling people about this bill and how bad it is. That's all I got. I guess I'll touch on another subject briefly. The libertarians don't know how to just get along, and getting along doesn't mean agreeing on everything. But the left libertarians are constantly demonizing the Mises Caucus. They're calling, Dave Smith an alt-right Nazi. And they complain about Tom Woods and Ron Paul, that they're like alt-right people. Just give it a break. And then the Mises Caucus is like super, super narrow-minded, and they're really big on gatekeeping, keeping people out who might not agree with 100% of the platform. And it just snowballs. They fight with each other, and the snowball gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And these are all people who agree on 80% of the issues and recognize what the problems are and want to fix them. And the analogy I made yesterday is that we've already gone off a cliff in the vehicle, and instead of deciding whether or not we should deploy our parachute, we are arguing over whether we should have the windshield wipers on or not while we're plummeting toward the ground. And that's not sustainable. We need to realize who the enemy is, who's winning right now, and we need to cut it out with these petty attacks on each other. And it's on both sides. I've called it out on both sides. The moderates and pragmatists are always shitting on the Mises, and the Mises are always doing it the other way, and it's stupid.